Well, good evening, America. What it do? What it do? I am Wendy Torres, one of your co hosts for the Mentor Mentee podcast, and you do not know how excited I am to be here with you tonight.
Hey y'all, it's your other co-host Emil Thomas. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm warning you now. This is the episode of episodes for the Mentor Mentee podcast. I need y'all to like, subscribe. I need you to follow. Like, it don't cost you nothing to do any of these things. So please share, because the conversation that we're about to have today, I promise you, you are about to understand so much about who Wendy and Emil is. It's not even funny. So let's start out with the check-ins. How you doing?
I am doing okay. I'm doing well. Listen, it is December. It's almost Christmas. I have half of my Christmas shopping done. I'm just thinking about everybody that's dealing with all the COVID pandemic, and cases are up. I'm thinking about those things. I will be better after Monday, December the 14th, and the electors have certified their votes. Then I will be great. But other than that, I am happy to be here tonight. I'm checking in. Hey, Simone. Hey, Mom. How are you? I'm so glad you guys are here with us. Hey, Erica. So glad you're here with us here tonight. But most of all, everybody, I am very excited. I am so happy because if you haven't noticed, my co-host is in a new location. My godson, my co-host, the boss of my life is here in the A. So I am very happy for that. How are you doing?
It's true. I'm good. I have to tell you, I say this every week that I get excited about the fact that we get this time weekly. It's just, I'm so excited about this conversation because these are one of these conversations that we've often had where they get very intense, they get very messy, right? Like a lot of things come out and a lot of growth happens. Yes. And I feel like we have been setting ourselves up, right? We been getting it done. We've been figuring out who we are. We've been getting into a flow. And tonight we are about to bake the cake, and I cannot wait for everyone to get involved. So listen, we're going to do things just a little bit different today, right? Because we're going to get into a topic. There's a couple of things I'm going to say before we even get into this topic. First things first is, in a couple of seconds, I'm going to put in an invite. If you're watching as we get into this topic, if you want to jump on board and come live with us and talk to us, click the link. You'll be able to do so.
Come on in.
Make sure you are not on YouTube. Make sure you're on Facebook. I know YouTube has a 10-second delay. So make sure you're watching us via Facebook if you choose to come in live. Make sure you have some light on. Make sure you dressed. Make sure you just gotta say all this stuff.
People.
Don't come naked, right? Make sure you have some good light on. Make sure you're in a place where you can. There's not a lot of sound so that we can hear you. But we're gonna welcome you into this conversation because this is not a conversation that one man and one woman should have.
No, this is a topic that we need to deal with. This is one of those issues, and especially as a Black community, I know that as a Black community, there's so many elephants in the room. There's so many things that we don't talk about. There's so many things that are taboo, right? That we don't deal with issues. We don't deal with our stuff. And hence the reason why we die of hypertension and high blood pressure and all of these things. This is one of those topics, guys. So it's going to be a messy conversation. And everybody has an opinion, everybody has a point of view, and all of those have to be heard. So as we get into it, Simone said, welcome back. And Hey Hill Story is checking in for her, as she would say, for the 99-2000.
Okay,
those are her words, not mine.
The link is in there, so if you choose to, you choose to. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this topic from the jump. So
just like that, huh?
Just like this, we're just gonna go straight in. No need to wait.
All right.
Right. So here's here's the conversation. Here's the conversation at hand. Wendy and I were texting. She sends me a conversation. She sends me a text. She said, "Hey, what we doing next week for a podcast?" I said, "I don't know. What you got? You got some ideas?" She said, "Watch this video." That's what she said. She said, "Watch this video." I said, "Okay." In the first 30 minutes, I said, "Oh, let's get into it. Please, I want to be messy. Let's get into it." So, for everyone watching, you're about to watch a 7-minute and 24-second video of a gentleman by the name of Kevin Samuels, who hosts a weekly podcast. The podcast that you're about to watch he does something called Challenge Nights. And the challenge night of this podcast was to answer the question, are modern women the victim? That's where it started out. He welcomed a female into his room to have the conversation. It was, what you're about to see is only a small segment, right? But this is a segment that went viral. This is the segment that we all saw. So I just want you to enjoy this. I just want you to watch this segment.
Enjoy it if you can. Don't hang up on us. Now listen, in these 7 minutes, don't get angry and hang up on us, right?
Right. Don't think stay with us. We just need you to have at a minimum the 7 minutes and 24 seconds of this video. You don't even got to look at them. Just, keep cooking, keep drinking, whatever you're doing, but just enjoy this clip.
Figured out is what I'm realizing. And ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know this. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay,
I just told it.
Go ahead. Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
Did you, I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
So what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but
okay, but you're not accepting the fact that average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. And you're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business.
Simone, I would have hung up on him.
You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't. You don't look the same, because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So what is your advice for women that...
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you need therapy. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
Don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you bras telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on the day the train was supposed to be here, and I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you, and I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. I'm tired of y'all doing
That's enough. I can't take no more. Okay. All right. Y'all, Nate had me muted through that whole video because he knew that there was no way I was not going to talk through it. I am that Black person in the movie theater that talks through the movie, so he had me muted. So I saw a lot of the comments, okay. Yes. So I saw Captain said that was hilarious. Mother said that was what? Yeah, you're just taking that in. He's crazy. Yes, Simone, I would have definitely hung up on him, throw the whole guy away. He needs to be left alone. Let's see what Ashley said. I am so over men telling women how to be women and what we should be doing. Hold your fellow brothers to the same standard. Amen for that. Trash. That was just trash. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There it is. There it is. Okay, where do you want to start? What do you want to start? So first of all, I'm going to start. Asked you where you would want to start. I'm just going to go in. The first thing that I do want to say is that I do not like when people give you these little clips of a video because, why did she rate herself a 5 is a good point. First of all, I don't like video clips. I think that you have to know everything in context, and that's why the whole show was 2.5 hours, and I watched almost all of it. I did listen to the last woman that called in. I never saw her, but so you do see that he was trying to do one thing with his show, and then she called in for another, and why he was irritated with her, but he didn't have to speak to her in that way. And so that's where I'm gonna start out. You take it wherever you want to, Nate, but when we're trying to tell people things that are true and truth and give people hard facts, you don't have to kill a person's spirit to do that. When you do that, that speaks to your own character. And at first I was incensed. I was enraged because I thought that this person was like a fellow therapist. I am not a clinical therapist, but as an educator, a licensed and ordained person that holds the hearts and spirits of people, a person that counsels people that are in grief, it is my responsibility to have compassion with people when you have to tell them hard things. I have walked people through deliverance. Do you understand what it means when a person has a false ideology in their mind and you have to walk them out of that thinking? Those are hard things to do. You don't crush a person's spirit on purpose, gleefully, and call yourself a coach, a life coach of any sort. So that's the issue I take with him, is that the way that he spoke to her, when he used the word broad, that told me the whole story right there. It would have been one thing when it was just her, but when he said, you broads, you got an issue with Black women in the first place, right off the rip, brother. And I said it, you really do. I question whether or not you really like them. I said that too. Go ahead.
Kid, said you really don't. You don't have to shut someone down to get your point across. You absolutely don't. It's not what mentors do, right? Into it since it's there, right? If your job is to consult people, if your job is to mentor people to be better, what you cannot do is be someone who breaks the mentee, because how are you expecting them to actually build, right? So my biggest issue is I'm not even gonna say my biggest, because there's just gonna be so many. Right?
There's so many.
But one of the largest issues is that you hold a title that you don't deserve. You hold a title that you made for yourself, and you're out here making money off of people's pain, and you're causing the pain so that they can continue to come back to you. See, what's weird to me is the fact that there are people asking a Black man for dating advice, and this man doesn't have a woman. You can't ask this man how to be the example because he doesn't even know what the example is. So it is now listen, y'all, I could throw a whole bunch of facts, right? I can drop the facts that there's 140,000 people that was watching that video. It may not have been when it was live, right? But when I watched it last week, 140,000 people had watched it. He was talking about everyone. He was talking about his audience,
his clients, and the people that follow him on a regular basis.
Regular basis are all pushing towards the same goal of being high value individuals. Now,
right.
To be high value, by his definition, is to be making 6 figures and to be to be some form of an entrepreneur, business owner, right? But that you are actively making yourself more successful. You are actively making yourself better. Now, when I describe that, that sounds great. Yes, I want to be a 6-figure man, a 7-figure man, an 8-figure man. Yes, I want to figure out my trauma and tribulations and be better about myself. But what I don't want to be is a Black man that treats Black women as if they are pawns. What I don't want to be is a black man that doesn't know that if I can't take the knee to you, then no one's going to learn that they should be taking the knee to you.
Hello.
What I don't want to be is the black man that does not want to be the guy to put the crown on his woman. See, I'm going to go quick there because there's a long way we got to go, which is to say this. This is the reason why black women don't want to be with black men anymore, because we see this thing online so much. And it is so easy at a young age when you are fragile and you are trying to figure out how is it that you're going to actually learn how to date in this modern world. And you see people who give themselves fake titles, and in these fake titles, they just like destroy the image. They literally destroy the image before your eyes. That 2.5 hours was like, y'all, did y'all notice that there was what's that thing called on the side, Wendy? That
pendulum. I don't know that pendulum,
right? Did y'all see that thing on the left hand side just keep spinning? It's the manipulation. He was literally manipulating everyone watching. Because let me tell you, as I was watching it, first of all, it's so dark in there. I closed it, but if I could just take it back to y'all and show, it was so dark in that room. First of all, you never saw this man's eyes. Second of all, you only saw his chin because his hair's turning gray. You couldn't see his head because he's probably sprayed it black. So it was just as dark as the room. The brightest thing in that room, right? I'm a director. I look at stuff. Let's talk about details, right? The lightest thing in that whole video was that spinning thing. So your eye kept going over there and you kept looking at it and watching it. And before you know, 2.5 hours went by and you listened to a whole bunch of bullshit.
Well, there. I think that, first of all, let me say this. I always said that I didn't want to make this I did not want this podcast to ever be just spiritual all the time. Like, I don't want it to be churchy. I don't want to turn people off but I need to say this. God is the only person that can tell you what you qualify for. Don't you ever allow any person to tell you what you qualify for. David did not qualify to be the king. Esther did not qualify to be the queen. Jesus was born in a manger to a woman who was nobody on the side of the road. He did not qualify to be the Son of God, but he was. And because of him, I am here. Because God saw something in David, he saved the kingdom of Israel. Because Esther did something, she saved. Don't you ever let another human being tell you what you qualify for. Who are you to tell me what I qualify for? I understand facts. You are right. A man that makes 6 figures can go out here and he can, listen, Jay-Z is Beyonce's husband. They got children together and they live in a fabulous life. And that Negro looked like somebody from Fat Albert and the Gang, the cartoon. Don't listen to me. Steve Harvey has got one of the baddest women you ever seen. And he used to have a box fade and
come on.
And he kind of fine to me too. So listen.
Let's go back. Biggie, nice, big, chocolate, big as all get up. He took a whole bit by himself.
What's his name? With the Flavor Flav had 3 seasons of Flavor of Love. Because when men have money, they can do all kinds of things. Yes, 20-year-old women do like 50-year-old men. Yes, 20-year-old women do, 50-year-old men will, because of Viagra, 50-year-old men can do a lot of things these days. All of those things he said were factual. Okay, that is true. Men don't really care about your money. They don't. If they want you, they don't care about your financial status. They do care about you bringing them a whole bunch of debt, though, if they are financially put together. But my point is, no one can tell you what you qualify for but God. That is the only qualification. Now, if you want to hold out for a certain thing, then you'll be holding. You know, that's up to you to decide. Yeah, if your standard is to be with somebody just for the money that they make, well then, sister, you're gonna get what you get. I'm sorry. Because if you are just trying to be with a man for the money that you have, then you will have your reward.
And so
right.
So let me jump in to say this, right? What you don't see is that when she first gets on the phone, the first question he asks her is, what do you want? She says, I need dating advice. He says, for what? The people I have been dating don't make six figures. This is before we know she wants a six-figure man. But she basically says the men I've been dating either want to invest in my business. She's a business owner. She has a pet grooming business. She makes six figures. They either want to invest in her business or they want to start a business together. So in our language tonight, we're going to say she didn't want to come up man. We get that. Understood. The last question that he asked her is, what can you provide your man that you want? Her very first answer was, I can help him with his business.
Yeah, so she was wrong. She was off.
All the way.
Okay, now that leads me to my next point about common sense. When the police pull up on a person that is clearly autistic and then the person dies at the hand of the police, we all are enraged because they should have common sense enough and be trained enough that you're dealing with somebody that is not mentally there. Am I the only person in this room that can look at this young lady and right off the bat know that everything wasn't all, like her mannerisms were childish? She's talking on her phone. She's giggling. Why would you crush the spirit of a person? She's petrified to be talking to you in the first place. Why would you crush the spirit of that person? Why would it be for you to try to tear her down? You clearly, and then you're gonna say, well, you seem like a sweet lady. You should have hung up and left it alone. That speaks to character. And that speaks to character right there.
And true character and a true businessman would have said, you can pay for that time. That is my job. I will not use this time to help you. So yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you woke up. I'm so happy that you caught us live. I hope you enjoy the entire show. But ma'am, I need you to book your time and then we can have this conversation off camera. The fact that he said it multiple times and still move forward made it malicious, right? Because he had to say it.
Yeah, I mean, Nate, if you had just changed his language to you people,
you heard me.
That's wrong with you black people. He did just like is it Kiji said. That's what some whites, that's exactly what they do. That's all he was. That was the same thing. Okay, so come on with your comments. Let's see, what did Simone say? When it's men, they feel like they're entitled to attractive women that are out of their league. They sure do. And if they use their same scale if we use that scale against them, then it's women. We have to earn our attention. Boy, bye. I agree. I believe wholeheartedly that they're like, listen, that's one of the things I want to talk about tonight, that there is clearly a issue between black men and women right now. It showed up in the election. Black men feel left out. They feel disenfranchised. They feel left behind. They feel upset. I agree with that to a certain degree. I think that you are lashing out at the wrong people, and that is black women. I think that you need to turn that towards the system that did this systematically to us on purpose, not turn to that system. You don't go out and protest and say that you support Donald Trump and take on his ideology because you feel left out and that he might give you a crumb off of his table. No, you need to wake up a little bit and realize that this was something that was systematically created to cause this divide. When affirmative action came into part, what did corporations do? They began to elevate black women. Why? Because if I get a black woman, I got 2 for 1. I got 2 minorities in one. You can't call me racist. You can't call me a bigot because I got a woman and an African American on my board, on my staff, in my administration. That's why in many areas you might see black women in mid-range leadership, not in real leadership positions, but mid-range leadership positions, because that was a scapegoat. And yes, black men are targeted by the system but if you notice that if they separate us from each other, then that is a tearing apart of what? Our community, our families. And instead of recognizing that, being intelligible, and as you would say, woke, and recognizing that and seeing that and say, okay, let me go back and pull my system and my family and my community together. This is what you do. You call us broads.
Out of your name. Just call them out of your name. You could have just called them the B word and
been done with it.
Just been done with it. There was no need.
I mean, I'm with Simone. I would have just hung up. Okay, so Go ahead.
Kiji says, give Black women room to speak, rule, work, etc. I'm going to stop there. I'm not even going to read the whole comment because I just want to talk about that one thing. If men don't find comfort in being behind a Black woman, life is never going to change. If Black men, and I'm speaking as myself, if Black men think that we are going to somehow be better than the white man, right? White man as in human race white man, then we're confused. We're so confused. We're so confused because so much of our ideology comes from the white man. Why? Because America is the land of business. It's about capitalism, and men love the competition of capitalism. They want nothing more than to be better than the one to their left and better to the one to their right. And they still have this disgusting view that by having a woman on their side, that it makes them just better than the next one, and that they can do whatever they want, and that we have that free archy. And it's not true. It's truly not true. It was. I remember in undergrad, I had an organization called Ethnic Theater Alliance, ETA, and I had my vice president and my secretary. One was a Black woman, one was a white woman. I would tell them all the time, I am not ever allowed to do an interview without you present. My voice cannot be the only voice spoken. I am never to be photographed without you present, because it is not actually important that they see me because all they see is a Black man. And to take it 100, right? The only thing that was beneficial was I would use my disability. So I would make sure my arm was out there in the crowd for people to see. But really what's important is putting the woman first, making sure that she's actually having her voice shared, that she's actually bringing the views, that she's actually doing the hardcore work. Because we may be great at ideas, but y'all are the executors. Why? Because because from generation to generation, as they have been separating all of the men from their women, the women have been taking care of the children, the women have been cooking the meals, the women have been going to work, the women have been getting their education, the women have been taking care of the business, whether it's legal or it's not legal. I mean, y'all have been doing every job. And so
my rant.
It's
okay. Keep going.
Who says we even going to get to the rant? Like, division is the secret to some weak man's power. Damn, my dad just said the realest thing in the world. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Division is the secret to some weak man's power.
Because if I divide and conquer, I mean, if they keep us divided, guys, then we'll never be together. I mean, So there were some very hard things said in that video clip. If you watch the whole thing, and like I said, we watched the whole thing, and they were true statements. Listen, to my sisters, if you want to be in a relationship, because I am now single, if I want to be in a viable, long-lasting relationship with a Black man, there are some things about me that I am going to have to look at, think about, compromise, shift. And one of those is that long list of superficial standards that we have, right? So you create this list. He got to be 6'3". He got to be 250. He's got to be, he's got to make six figures. He's got to be financially stable. He can't have children. All of that's superficial, and all of that speaks to drama you don't want to deal with because you had past drama. Like, I don't want no more short men. You got to be dark skinned. I don't want to deal with no more light skinned dudes. No offense to light skinned dudes. It might be the opposite. But my point is, all of those superficial things got to go out the window if you want to be in a viable relationship. And so that's what he was speaking to about when he was saying, you have all of these things on this list that you're saying you want, and do you qualify for those things? So when I was I feel attacked. Okay, I'm not going to get into my rant, but I'm going to tell a story.
Okay.
I stayed in my marriage 3 years longer than I wanted to. Listen now, financial sound ain't superficial. Amen. You are 100% correct, because I'm about to speak to that. Ashley, you're 100% right. I stayed in my marriage 3 years longer than I wanted to. I was gone. I was mentally, spiritually, emotionally gone out of my marriage. But 3 years before I found a foxhole. Y'all ever know how a fox is in a cage and he finds the smallest hole and he takes off for it? That's what I did. I didn't leave for 3 years because I looked at myself. I was between 270 and 250 pounds. I had 3 children. Ian was probably 3. Zion was 4. Brennan was 4, 6, 10 years old. And I looked at myself and I said, I'm overweight. I got 3 small children. I am financially destitute because of what this relationship is doing to me. What man of my caliber, my mental, I was a woman that had several degrees, very intellectual and intelligent. I still am.
Yes, you are.
What man of that caliber is going to deal with me? Now, don't send me a whole bunch of comments talking about how dare I think like that. I'm telling you what the mindset of that woman was then. I'm not her anymore. I'm telling you who I was then, right? So I stayed because, and I was being told, and who's gonna take you? Where you gonna go? What you gonna do? I was being emotionally and mentally told those things as well. Eventually, I got to the point I said, I don't care who will take me. I don't care what I look like. I just want out of this situation. So when I got divorced, I was a woman that had 3 children. When you're trying to get into a relationship, all of that does matter. That doesn't reduce your stock. It doesn't make you less valuable, but it is a part of the variables about being in relationships. It doesn't mean you have to settle. It doesn't mean you have to get lower than. It is a variable in relationships. Because when you try to get with a mate that has no children, that has 1 child, that doesn't have all of those things, they have the right to say that is not a situation they want to be involved in. That doesn't make them less than. That doesn't make them bad. It's just the facts. I spent the time working on me, not for a relationship, because I needed to be better. I knew what I wanted for myself and for my children. And I spent years working on my health, mentally, physically, working on my children's health with their education and who they are and their character, so that I can move from being a person that has choices. We all have choices. At this point in my life, I got options. Hey. I still got the same 3 kids, but I'm not in the same financial situation. I'm not in the same physical situation. I'm not in the same mental situation. I bring a whole lot to the table. And anybody that gets the right to say that they're in a relationship with me has gotten a benefit, right? But I had to do the work on me first. So that is the part of what he said that was true, that is hurtful to some people, that is hard to hear for some women. There was another podcast that he did. He was talking to some man that was overweight, and he was saying some very disgusting things. I couldn't even watch the video because my mother was in the car. I had to cut it off. People just have ideas of great. People do have different ideas. People want to do things at certain levels, but they don't do the work. So I'll use one more example.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to be, there's certain things I want to do physically, but I cannot. I got friends that can do some astronomical things. They can run and jump from pyro box to pyro box. These are like stacked boxes, right? That you sit on and you do different exercises on them. These nuts can hop from box to box. Jump off the box, get on an agility bag, slide the bag in between and out of tires, go pick up a weight that has 10, 15, 20 pounds on it, throw it up, throw the box, and jump back. Do you want my full self to do that? You'd be visiting me in the hospital. There are some things you just can't do. You need to stay within your ability range, but that is not settling. You don't have to settle for less. You just have to know the variables of what you're dealing with. If you're 30 or 40 like I am, You are competing with 20-year-olds for the attention of a 50-year-old man. That's just off rip. All right, let's go to comments.
Okay, we're going to comments and I got stuff to say. I just got to hit this. Kiji said, don't have nothing in a partner that you cannot be or accomplish yourself. That's on both parties. It's true. It's absolutely true. Most men only treat you as good as they think you look. Which makes sense. Remember, so Wendy sent me this. We've been sending each other's videos on these topics all week, right? So you sent me this video this afternoon, right? That said the chart was what women think men value versus what men actually value. Women think men value finances the most. Men actually value your looks the most. I don't know about that, but
that's it's true. Let's be real. I gotta be able to look at you. A man has got to be the first thing that a man sees you. He sees you first.
Okay, so let me ask you, because this is what I'm gonna answer the question and ask it, and then I'm gonna throw it at you. So for me and a partner, there are two things that I actually need to happen for me to actually have a genuine attraction to you. One is I need you to be able to acknowledge that my arm is broken. You have to be able to acknowledge it. It doesn't mean you have to ask me a question about it, but it does mean, right? It does mean that I need to physically see you acknowledge that happens. The second thing is whenever we hug, whether it be the first time or whatever, if you hug me with one hand and give me a side hug, and not give me a full hug and actually cannot embrace my whole body, then I know that this isn't it.
Okay.
I know you aren't comfortable with me. I know you can't actually see me for who all that I am. So my question to you, Wendy, is, right? Yes, you see, what is it? What is that one thing, those two things from the very jump that you have to have in order to establish there's an attraction to someone?
Okay, so an attraction. First, so there's two things. So there's two ways. First of all, I have to see you. Number one, I have to know that if I have my safe word is safe. I have to feel safe with you. So I have to feel safe with you physically. So physically, I need you to be in a presence that when I'm with you, I feel okay. When you hug me, I need to know I'm being held. I have to know that I'm in your arms, not on your arms. I need to feel like that I can't break you, right? I need you to be bigger than me. I like muscular men, but you don't have to be the Hulk, right? You can have a little something on you, but I need strength. So first of all, I need to be able to see you. But the second thing I said is safety. I need to be emotionally and mentally safe with you. I need to be okay to talk to you. I need to know that when I'm talking to you that you're listening. I need you to value what I'm saying to you. And I need to be able to be safe that what you say to me is true. And that is, I'm going to watch your mannerisms, your patterns, and the things that you do over time. Now, so right off the bat, what you're saying to me is, when I look at you, yes, I'm going to look at you. But I am also attracted to people's intellect. So I am a relational person over time. I can meet a person and over time develop an affinity or an affection for them because they are intellectual and they have gotten my attention.
Yes.
Now in the comments, we got a whole lot.
A whole lot.
I'm going to go back to something that, let's see, the captain said that the 50-year-old men or I'm not sure who he was talking about, but he was saying that people that I might be interested in can run 51 miles in 4 days. And then, but he also said that men they don't value looks. They do value finances. So we've got Ashley and the captain saying that. I do agree. I thought that men didn't want to be with women that were really financially destitute because they don't want to take on that debt. Older men, younger men may not care about that. Because remember that podcast was from Cyrus, and Cyrus graduated with you. So That's somebody your age.
Yes.
Now, Lori said men treat you as good as they think you look. Ashley said men treat you as good as you allow them to treat you. Now, I definitely agree with that. I know people hate when I say this, but I taught you all in high school. You train people how to treat you. People don't like that word train because they say it's like a dog, but you teach people how to treat you by the way you react and the way you deal with their actions.
Because if you cannot you can in a first date express your intentions. If you cannot in a first month of being with someone tell them, I don't like when you do that. That don't sit well with me. This isn't that. It's never going to work. Because if you aren't comfortable letting down, and it's at that point, it's only setting the ground rules. You are literally just letting someone know, here is who I am, here is how I work, right? I want to jump back a little because it's the concept of men going for women on their looks, I just can't get behind. And the reason I can't get behind it is because, yes, there are some gorgeous women out there. There are some drop dead queens in all the earth. I know it. We've all seen it. They got bodies out of this world. They got perfect symmetrical faces and eyebrows and all. And you know what? I'm scared of them women. I am terrified of them women. You know why I'm terrified of them women? Because those women have everything they desire and they'll get none of it. They'll get none of it because they can play the game as long as they want to play it. And if they don't get off of the ride at the right time, they are screwed. On the flip side, there are some, I'm going to throw the word, there are some average looking women. I don't know. I think everyone considers the word average different, but there are some average looking women that you get to know them and they are more beautiful than the woman that you look at. That is symmetrical in every way. And so my big thing is, just to bring it to the topic, right? What really broke me was I didn't like the fact that she called herself a 5.
And I think she was funny. Go ahead.
Right. And I get it. She was trying to be honest and maybe from the perspective of what other people may say of her. But let me tell you something. I'm a 10. In my world, when you walk around me, I'm a 10. People I keep around me, they 15. Right? They above the barricade, okay? Because the way that I love myself, the way that I admire myself, ain't nobody gonna ever tell me that I'm average. Now, yes, I may not have the abs. Yes, I may not have the 6-figure salary. Yes, I may not be living in the hills. But damn to hell, you think that I'm not going to be attending my life? The fact that she was there was like her confidence. That's what got me. What's unattractive about that woman was that she didn't have the confidence.
Right. And that's what I was going to speak to, is that if she said a 5 because her self-esteem was so low, she didn't want to shoot too high. She was trying to keep him from attacking her. So she said something. See, you're talking to somebody that's been there, right? So you try to say something to try to keep people from attacking you. So he said, don't say a 7. So I'm going to say 5, 6-ish. No, let me tell you something. The angel rule number 8 says an angel can never be outdone. Nope. I don't care what you do. You can't outdo me being me. There is no other me. I am the only me there is. There is no other Wendy Renee. I'm the only one. So you can't beat me at being me. I can't beat you at being you. I would be stupid and dumb to try to do what you do. I can't do that, but you can't be me either. Be the best you ever. And guess what? That is what is attractive to people. And people tell me all the time about, your smile or this or that. I feel wholehearted that the spirit of a person is what makes them beautiful. You can laugh at me all day long, but there's something about Whoopi Goldberg that is beyond beautiful to me. She is beautiful to me. Some people can say all kinds of stuff. You can't take that from me. That woman is gorgeous. Why? Because her intellect, the way she carries herself, everything about her self-esteem speaks beauty to me. She's beautiful. That is what beauty is. And everybody has, a different idea of that. I see a lot of people saying that chemistry and compatibility is what brings them to themselves. Hill Story says you got to be nice and financially sound. Pastor Hammond says not one size fits all. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Facts. Though here's how I'm gonna train you how you're gonna treat me. Okay. When you act a certain way, I'm gonna tell you the first time. Hi, so listen, remember this, that, and the other. This makes me feel this way. This how, it makes me. So let's work it. Can we tell me about that? How do we work through that? Okay, I'm going to make a plan. I'm not mad. I'm moving on because people have to learn each other, right? Then the second time. Okay, so remember we talked about this, X, Y, Z, how that makes me feel. So talk to me about that. You did it again. Am I missing something? Oh, okay. So are we good? Are you sure we're good? All right. The third time, I'm done. I'm not cussing you out. I'm not fussing. I'm not yelling and screaming. You just lost the right to my space and my energy because I've told you what I needed from you and your actions told me you were incapable of doing it. You heard me the first time. I clarified. I made sure you heard me the second time, right? And when you didn't do it the second time, then that meant you really didn't give a damn.
Because when people tell you who they are, you listen. But when they show you who you are, you better believe them. You can tell them, but when they show you, believe it, because it's a trait. It's a whole trait. All right, let's get into, okay, you can't look for someone to complete you. You need someone to compliment you. Looks fade. That's right. We all get old. What happens when looks fade? You can't talk to looks. Better love the mind. Better love the mind.
Please put Mario's comment up.
Be you. They'll adjust. It's true. It's true. And I'll take it and let me take it to a different segment of adjust. You'll adjust for people you shouldn't be with. Just as much as you'll adjust as much as you're going to adjust for people that you believe you want to be with, right? Because the truth of the matter is, what we probably won't all say is we all tend to adjust, right? I was a couple of days ago. I'm working on this new project, so I was looking through some of my old photos, and I found some photos of when I had lost a lot of weight. So a couple of years ago, I had lost like 50 pounds. And it was great. I was like real cute. My chin was down. My dimples were popping. My belly was flat. Right now, what I will also tell you is I was dating someone that was very fit, and at that time I thought was out of my league. And so I was adjusting physically because my spirit told me if this individual is attracted to me and we are building something, right? And she is fit and giving me the type of physical body that I enjoy, well, then I deserve to give her. She deserves that same thing. And so I now need to do the work to return that. But let me tell you something. The last thing that ended that relationship was them 50 pounds. So I enjoy eating every second of them back.
It's a stupid. Listen, people, there is somebody out there for everyone. And guess what? There's more than one person out there for you. It's up to you to choose who you're going to be with, men and women. And you don't have to settle. I am a firm believer. Please don't settle. Do not be in relationships with people that won't help you be better. Don't help you be better. Please. Oh, and I want to go back to what you said about that you are a 10 and the people around you are 10, because all my friends are baddies.
Yes, they are.
One of them.
Yes, they are.
If I do say so myself.
Come on. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And listen, if anything, I'm a 9.8 and everybody a 10.
I mean, no, we're 10, and when we walk in the room unapologetically, it is what it is.
And I'll take it a step further. See, I don't have many male friends. I think I have one or two. Not that I know I got about two in my life, right? So majority of my friends, close friends that I've had all my life are females. And let me tell you something. My ego gets stroked when I walk into a room with them and every man turns and looks away. And I know you ain't getting not one of them. We're about to have the time of our lives and walk out of here without you. We're gonna talk about you. We're gonna let you try to, we're gonna let you try to shoot your shot, but we're about to enjoy playing the game with you. It is. Hold on, I gotta stop, y'all. My dad said I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
He a 10 and he birthed a whole bunch of 10s. So come on with it. I know this is about to be a conversation that's going to happen over and over. I can't wait for when we really get into the conversation of the idea of the game, right? That dating is a game. It is a game that you have to enjoy. It is a game that you have to play well. It is a game that the rules are always changing, right?
We don't like this game. Nate, we don't like this game. Anybody trying to play with you? What are we playing? Tell me which game is it? Is it phase 10? Are we playing life? Is it Monopoly? Are we playing Uno? That lasts forever. I mean, what are we playing? Tell me what we're playing.
It's funny that you say women don't want to play the game, but women be the first ones to play the card. Y'all drop the first card. Y'all just be dropping the first card, and it's like, first of all, either men gonna miss the card, so then they don't even realize, right? So then they on this game, they on this journey of like, oh, she's so different. She don't play no games. Da 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 da. Mind you, she done dropped 3 cards and you forgot and didn't look, right? Because you just looking at her looks. So let's get it. When you get mesmerized by a woman's looks, you don't see what she's actually laying out before you to see if you even worth it.
So, you talking about some tarot cards? We talking about spades? What we playing? Hearts? What kind of cards?
All of them. All of them, because every woman play a different game. And if you don't, and if you don't understand that, you don't understand that. And I'm not mad at that. And I also say this: let me not be sexist. Men play games too. I'm not saying that men don't play games, right? I tend to think though that men play games viciously while women play games to protect themselves. I may be wrong. People may have different opinions due to their past, but as I have seen, many women are only playing that game because they do not want to be hurt like they were before. Whereas there is a potential for a lot of fun when a male plays it. Why? Because when a man is playing the game, he usually just wants sex. Mm-hmm. So let's just play what it is, right? He just wants to get the goods at the end of the night and to play. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah, that's all I was gonna say.
And when women are playing this, number one, you should have never let me learn the game. I'm sorry, sirs. You should have never played the game with an observer. So now I know the game and I write rules. I wrote a whole book on them. Rules. So now we're gonna switch them up on you a little bit. So we play the game. You're right, just because we're trying to guard our heart, right? Because watch this, because you're getting into my rant a little bit, which I am going to do. Because when we gave you our hearts freely, without thinking, and took you at face value, you called us dumb, played us for a lummy, and most times left us with a child, and then called us unwed mothers. And then we have a whole stigma behind that. But that because we were open and free, and I'm just in love with him, and he just treats me right, and he just does all these things, and he was doing it with Sally, Sue, Curly, and Mo. So I don't have to. So yes, I'm going to protect my heart, and I'm going to play my cards close to the vest, because I'm not going to be out here saying that I'm dating you and you not dating me.
Which brings us back to episode 1 of the Mentor Mentee podcast, when we talked about this idea of dating and it being a verb. And for it to be a verb means you have to do something. which means you have to go somewhere, which means you have to actually get involved in an activity with another person. Come on with it. Let's get some jewels from them. All men don't have to play for the idiots of life.
Right. You're right, Dad. They don't. There are some good men out there. Must be playing Bill Wiz, because whatever the game is, I'm not familiar. I knew Hill ain't playing the radio with y'all. Y'all just need to know right off front. My friend's not playing with y'all. I mean, I understand what the guy was saying, which is back to another part where he's talking about you black women, which leads me, I'm going there into my rant about you black women. My friends are not playing the radio with you all because they've done the work. They do the work physically. They've done it mentally. They've done it educationally. They've done it financially. And they're not playing these silly games with you, which leads me to my rant. In this video, said named mentor, who will remain nameless by me, talked about Black women. First of all, you called us broads. And then secondly, you talked about you Black women need to get off your pedestal and with your princess complex. Princess complex. A princess is the daughter of a king who has inherited through no rights of her own a kingdom that belongs to her. Your mama, your auntie, your sisters, and your nieces, the old ladies at your church, because I don't care what you do in your life right now. If you're 35 years or older and you Black in the United States, you've been in somebody's church some point in your life. Them old women with the big arms that was selling them fish plates on Sunday so that y'all can make the rent on your church building don't know nothing about no princess complex. Ain't nobody washed no dishes for them. Ain't nobody come in their house and made up their bed. Nobody has drawn bath water for Black women in the United States of America and scrubbed their backs for them, laid their clothes out for them. I don't know nobody's big mama that sat in a chair while some servants brushed their hair and put a tiara on their head. Where in the hell did you get the idea that you would say that Black women in the United States of America have a princess complex? Who is carrying my groceries for me when I got 3 bags of groceries in one hand and a baby in the other arm? Sir, who was doing the work for me when I was driving to grad school and driving my kids to school at the same damn time? There was no princess complex for me. And it wasn't for your own mama either. How disrespectful. You see my little curl in my lip? I did it on purpose. How disrespectful you are to Black women that have upheld you, that have upheld this community, that have gone to work, that have washed your clothes, folded your drawers, cooked your food, cleaned your house, took care of the rent when your daddy was running around with 3 and 4 other women, making more brothers and sisters that you probably got out there. And you got the nerve to say we have a princess complex because we finally got hip to the game and said, if I'm going to have to take care of myself, the way for me to do that is to get an education. So we sat in the classroom when white teachers told us that we were dumb, when white people said we couldn't learn math and we didn't know science and we couldn't do anything, and we proved they butts wrong. Became astronauts, became lawyers, became doctors, became the vice president of the United States of America. And we did all of that so we could take care of ourselves, so that when you fell down on your job, we weren't a part of that statistic anymore, talking about we were some unwed mothers. Now when Black women today are taking themselves on trips, they're getting degrees, they're buying the clothes that they want, they're buying houses. I can name 4 Black women I know right now that are building a house from the ground. You got the nerve to say that they have a princess complex? No, they have a no man complex. They have a no provision complex. They have a no protection complex. They have a no provider complex. That's the complex that they have, my brother. They don't have a princess complex because nobody has done anything for us. You're thinking about the lighter complexion, sisters, because let me tell you something about white men. They hold their women up on a pedestal. Like I was saying in the pregame, when I was pregnant with Ian and Zion, I was on maternity leave for 4 weeks. 4 weeks before I went back to work. Why? Because my family needed my paycheck. I didn't take off 6 weeks. I didn't take off 12 weeks. I didn't do like every last one of my white counterparts in Fayette County school system that I was the same age as, that when they got married and when they got pregnant and they were married and they didn't come back to work. They went home and stayed home with their children. I did not do that because my household needed my finances. I should have said, you figure it out, because that's what white women do. And when you Black men leave us for them, that's what you run into, the princess complex. I don't know, dear, you figure it out. So how dare you ever say that? We're not princesses, sir. We're queens. I'm done. I can't hear you. You keep muting yourself.
I muted myself because I was smart. Y'all do it to yourselves. Let me tell you. Y'all do it to yourselves. Y'all do it to yourselves. Y'all do it to yourselves. Listen, I'm not doing the Sugar Bear Chronicles tonight because I'm gonna advertise something real quick.
I'm still mad.
I know. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna do this advertisement real quick and let's see if we can shift the mood. So everybody knows the holiday season is around. And
what a shift.
Yeah, what a shift, right? I'm gonna go all the way. Everybody know the holiday season is right around Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you may celebrate, and we want to wish you guys all a great holiday season. As you know, I am the executive artistic director of Marietta's new theater in the Square in Marietta, Georgia. And this season, we are selling ornaments to raise money for theater in the Square. Look at these beautiful, oh, yes, there it goes. Look at these beautiful ornaments that were created by our lighting designer, Damon.
Oh, those are
each of these ornaments are handcrafted and they do ship daily. So if you do want to deck your tree out, they cost $14.99. The link is currently right there in the chat. Click the link right now and go ahead and purchase you one so that you can support the art, support the theater, and support myself. Put it on your tree so that you remember us. And rest assured that this is going to be a great holiday season, whether we want it to be or not. So please support any way that you can. See that? That was nice. I know. I had to lighten the mood. I had to lighten the mood just a little bit. This was a heavy episode. Not in a bad way, but that we just got down to business. And so before we go to closing this episode out, I just want to talk about us, right? Which is the mentor-mentee relationship of this. I was very heated in the beginning. Every time I watch that video, it heats me up, and so I can just like go off. But it's important for us in our platform that we're really trying to create something that really amplifies the idea of being a mentor and being a mentee and switching that position. And some people may look at this episode and go like, now, how in the world does this fall under the topic of being a mentor and being a mentee? And for so often, especially when you get a mentor at such a young age, you go through growing pains. And for me, one of the growing pains that I have honestly struggled with is the idea of dating. I had to work on my self-confidence. You know, I am the baby of four brothers who are all 10s, right? But had high confidence coming out of the womb and always had women at their beckon, had beautiful women at their beckon and had what I would consider to be a great dating lifestyle. And I didn't necessarily fall in that path. I always tried to do something a little bit different. And one of the ways that I felt like it was going to be different, look, y'all still think it's the rant. It's not the rant. And one of the ways that I tried to be different was really trying to like understand and learn and listen to Black women. Like, I love Black women. I just love them. And I have to say it over and over because honestly, it is so heartbreaking to me that I do not see more and more of Black couples. You know, my parents are a Black couple. My grandparents were a Black couple. Yes, they are. Yes, my parents are Hispanic. They're Puerto Rican. Yes, my grandparents are Puerto Rican, right? But we are Afro-Latinos. And that means something to me, right? The culture and my heritage actually means something to me. And so it is beautiful that we are dating out of our race, out of our cultures, that we are exploring. But I never want us to get to a point where we are exploring options so much that we never actually explore what the beauty is of having someone of the same complexion. There just is a benefit of having someone of the same complexion. And so this mentorship has been great because when I went into the Angel program, I was one of two guys. And I was the only straight guy in the program, right? So there was a chance of either I was going to really crush on some of them, which I did, and like there was going to be a downfall of like, you know, he just wants to get with us, or there was going to be a chance for me to really understand women of my generation, Black women of my generation, and what it is they want, what are the men they are looking at, why are they looking at them, what they actually consider to be attractive to them, and see them evolve at the same time that I get to evolve. So with all of this that we talked about, right, this is something that like Wendy and I have been having conversations after conversations. And the privilege that I have is that I have been able to sit in the room with young and older women, specifically Black women, and listen to how they talk about us. And let me tell you something, gentlemen. Y'all all need to find your way into a circle of Black women and hear how they talk about us. Because if you do not hear how they talk about us, there is no way in the world you think you are going to be able to play that game and actually win. And that's all I'm going to say to that. Are we closing this out now?
That sounded like a forum topic.
Oh, did it?
So it's so awesome because every time we do this, we end up with more topics, and so we'll definitely come back to this. Listen, it is our hope that you got something out of this, even if it was just to get something off your chest. Please understand, you are valuable. You are more than average. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. There is absolutely no other like you. You have a DNA, unless you are a twin, that no one else has. And that does make you special. You are special. You're special to God. You're special to me. You're special to us. And there is someone out there that is going to adore you. You've just got to not settle for anything less than that. You deserve it. We hope to see you again here next week.
We're not gonna dream?
Huh?
Are we not going to dream?
We can dream. Let's go ahead.
We're going to dream. Okay, let's. I
thought we were over time, so I was just going to say, okay.
I know you're right, but I'm looking at him like, how do we not dream? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just feel like it is our thing. So because it's our thing, how do we end it without ending it properly, right? So every week we ask ourselves these same questions. This was a great conversation, so I can't wait to see what we're going to pick. But ladies and gentlemen, my question to you is this. Is today's dream tomorrow's reality, or is tomorrow's dream today's reality? Ooh, I'm going to tell you that this is what I'm going to say. Today's dream is tomorrow's reality. Caveat, I don't have a dream today. And so tomorrow's reality is going to be the dream.
Okay. That's fair. Today's reality is tomorrow's dream. No, today's dream will be tomorrow's reality. I hope and pray that we as a people, Black men and women, can find our ways to the table and find a way to come together, because we financially, as a community, we need each other. We need to be a powerhouse. We are a force to be reckoned with. We are a $1.9 trillion powerhouse. And somehow we need to realize that the forces, the systems, and the entities, principalities outside of us are the ones that want us to be separate. We will never be as strong until we come together. So I've got to dream that that will happen tomorrow. What did Hill Story say?
Yeah, you already know. That's what I'm saying. Hill is just a hoot. She said, today's dream is tomorrow's reality. Hopeful for a real relationship with a real man. That's nice financially sound with nice teeth. Come on.
Come on with all their teeth.
Come on. All teeth, all real teeth, right? You don't want to, maybe you'll take them, but let's say nice real teeth as of right now.
Right.
Oh, okay, Wendy. Let's end it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Always, we don't take it for granted for you all. Thank you for the almost 600 followers that we have here on the Facebook page. This is so awesome for you all to be with us here every night. Like I said before, you are worthy. Point blank, period, poo.
Hey, and as you know, we appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. This podcast is just the beginning of the movement in which we are creating. It's free for you to do so. It helps our algorithm, and it reminds you that we're live. So please, please, please do so. If you haven't had enough of us, remember that you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, the Apple Podcast app, the Spotify app. We're live every day we're live every Wednesday at 6:00 for our pre-show on Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, please do so. And then we have some exciting stuff happening. I'm about to introduce Wendy to a new app. There is this new app called the Clubhouse, which many people are getting onto. This is only for people with iPhones because it's in its beta stages. But this presents a great opportunity for us to build a fan base on a social media platform that doesn't have a complicated algorithm yet. So I'm very excited for that. And there are a lot of comments.
They're just saying great show. They're ready to go home.
Thank you. All right. I love y'all. We'll see you next week. How do I find y'all?
I'm Wendy Torres.
Wait. How do I find y'all on Instagram? It's the same thing. Mentor Mentee Podcast on all platforms. You literally just put she did it so that people know. I got you, sis. I know why she said it. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Mentor Mentee Podcast. Spell it all the way out. I am Emil Thomas.
And I am Wendy Torres.
See you next week.